Mastermind of the Paris attacks has been killed. Abdel Hamid Aboud's death has been confirmed by a French prosecutor who said verification has been done based on skin samples. But it's not as if this elimination has increased the sense of security in France. The French government feels the country could even face chemical or bacterial attacks. Europol expects more attacks to be carried out in the continent. Here's the latest on the chain of events detonated after the Paris attacks.
Abdel Hamid Aboud, the suspected Belgian mastermind behind last week's Paris attacks, has been identified among the dead in Wednesday's raid by French forces in the northern Paris districts of Saint-Denis.
The
French prosecutor has just confirmed that we know now that Aboud, the mastermind of the attacks, or one of the masterminds, should I say, we should remain prudent. We know the extent of the threat was found amongst those who were killed.
The
28-year-old Belgian militant who had boasted of mounting attacks in Europe for the so-called Islamic State is accused of orchestrating Friday's coordinated bombing and shootings in French capital, which killed 129 people. Continuing the search for terrorist suspects, Belgian police raided properties across Brussels Thursday morning. Raids were carried out among friends and family of 20-year-old Bilal Hadfi, who blew himself up at Stade de Francais last Friday. Meanwhile, the threats from ISIS are getting murkier and more widespread. That is what French Prime Minister Manuel Valls seemed to indicate while speaking in the French Parliament. He said France could face the risk of chemical or bacterial warfare in its fight against Islamic militants.
We can't exclude anything today, and I say this with all precaution it calls for, but we know it. We have it in our mind. There can be the risk of chemical and biological weapons.
Décapitation, bombes humaines, armes blanches ou
US President Barack Obama has articulated a stand that the forces fighting against ISIS currently are not working towards the same end.
It's not as if Iran or Russia see ISIL as not being a serious threat. They recognize that it's a threat. The problem is that the strategy that we're pursuing right now doesn't allow them to focus attention there. That's why most of the Russian strikes at this point have not been directed at ISIL. They've been directed at propping up the Assad regime. So they will have to make a fundamental shift, I believe, in policy.
Dramatic CCTV footage has emerged showing the moment a gunman wielding an AK-47 opened fire on a pizzeria in central Paris last Friday night. According to the Daily Mail, which acquired the footage, security sources believe the video shows 26-year-old Salah Abdeslam, an alleged 8th attacker who is still on the run. A plane flying from Warsaw to the Egyptian resort of Hurghada was forced to make an emergency landing in Bulgaria after a bomb threat, according to officials. Meanwhile, Europol expects more attacks in Europe. They said the recent attacks, including a drowning of Russian airliner in Egypt, showed a clear statement of intent by ISIS to export its brutal brand of terrorism to Europe. News Night Desk, DD News.